Gladys Hishori, the founder of Amazing Girl Mentorship Network, and we are here on Women's View talking about the A to Z of the amazing woman. And you might be wondering, am I amazing? Yes, you are amazing. Every woman is amazing. God made us as so amazing, but sometimes we forget it. We forget and we don't remember and we act as though we are not amazing, yet we are very, very amazing. Now, today we are looking at I, important. You, woman, are very, very important. Yes, you who is watching this video, you're very important. But maybe you're asking yourself, I can't possibly be important. How can I be important? What have I done? What have I accomplished? Who have I reached out to? What have I done? What has my life counted for in this world? I am not important, And those are not good things to tell yourself. Those are not true. They are lies, because the truth is that you are important. You're important because God says so, period. But now, because we normally live in a world where we want so many reasons and excuses for doing things, I'll try and give you a few things to show you how important you are. One, you're important because God made you. God never makes something or someone that is not for a certain purpose. And the first thing is that thing is important because it has to serve that purpose. So you were created for a purpose, and that makes you important. Second is all the things that God does for you. Every day, He gives you sunshine and light and air to breathe. He takes care of you. And it says in the Bible that you're more important than the lilies of the field, than the birds of the air. And those two things are clothed and fed every day. So very beautifully. Yet today they're there, and in a few days, they're no longer there. But God still invests His time in them and takes care of them. How much more you? You are so important that He knows the number of hairs on your head. He cares that much about you. He calls you the apple of His eye. You're very, very important to Him. I like to base everything I do on the Word of God, because that is the one thing that does not change. If you based your sense of importance based on your role as a wife, or your role as a mother, or as an A student, those things can come tumbling down in a day, just like that. They can just disappear, and then you no longer have a role to fulfill. So your importance is not based on a role. It's not based on what somebody else says about you, somebody else tells you, what somebody else talks about you, even when you're not there. No, those are not important at all. What is important is what God put inside of you, how He made you, simply because He made you. I'd like you to think about a little child who's just been born, and the amount of love and excitement and joy and happiness that surrounds that child. The mother is very happy, so is the father, the relatives, everybody's there, and they're really, really happy about this child. And this child is very, very important. We make sure that we pay the hospital bill, we provide everything that's needed for that child, clothing, warm things, pampers, everything is provided for that child, because that child is important. How would you think, or what would you feel if that child suddenly woke up and said, I am not important, don't do all these things for me, I have not written a book, I have not done anything, I have not accomplished much? It would be ridiculous, totally ridiculous. That child cannot begin to understand his or her importance in this world, and even to those people around that child. And I want to tell you something, dear woman, you are that child, because one day you were that tiny little baby who had just been born, and you were important simply because you were there. Simply because you didn't have to do anything to be loved, you didn't have to do anything for anyone to take care of you. You're simply important. And I want you to go back to that little childhood, that child of yours that maybe was told you're not important, or you were ignored or abused or rejected, or whatever it is that happened to you. And I want you to just see yourself as a little baby with everybody cooing and eyeing around you. And I want you to imagine whether you can dismiss that child. You can't. That child is important. You are important. And if something bad happened to you and stripped away your sense of worth and importance, I'm really, really sorry. I'm really sorry, and I'm hoping that you get to hear that. Whoever it is who may have made you feel so unworthy may not even be around to apologize, may not even care to apologize for whatever they did to you. But on their behalf, I just stand here and I tell you, you are important. And I'm sorry for all those things that they did to you. And I offer to you God's love, because God's love is coming to you right now to tell you how important you are, how special you are, how wonderful you are in His eyes. He loves you so much, and you are His child. It says in the Word of God, behold what manner of love we have been given, that we should be called the children of God. You are God's child, and He loves you, and that makes you important, period. Nothing else, nothing else. You don't need anything else to tell you how important you are or to prove your worth or anything. It's not about your accomplishments. It's not about the things that you have, the grades in school and so on and so forth. No, all that does not mean anything. You are important simply because you're God's child, simply because God says so. So you are important. Don't ever doubt it. You're important, period.